Happy Monday. Welcome back to Retake the Week. It's been an incredibly quiet time. We almost have nothing to talk about, which, if history has taught us anything, means this episode's going to go for about 3 hours. Has often been the case in the past where we come into an episode with a very short list of topics, general consensus between the two of us, this won't take very long. We'll be done in an hour. Damn, if only we could have had more to talk about this week, and then end 2.5. But we'll see. We'll see if that actually comes true this time. We do have some things prepared. We have some interesting, little, I guess, less serious topics as well to discuss. Some little sideshow stuff, essentially, in terms of talking about the major, previewing it a bit. We're going to see Quacke's picks. That's going to be interesting, all the Pickem stuff. But before we get into all that, we do have to thank the members. The members make this show better, make this show available on multiple platforms. I know last week's episode, Spotify listeners, came out very late. Apologies, that's on me. I never found the time, because I basically need to re-record all the audio to put stuff on Spotify. Well, because you can't just download a live stream VOD that you made yourself. You can't just download it. And then convert it into an MP3 file. You have to sit there and play it all and record it. I've not found another way so far. So I literally play it and record it.
When you said re-record, the thing I thought was that you were like sitting and like speaking it all, like you were reenacting the whole episode.
It's like a director's commentary. Like, so during this topic, you see, Quack really frustrated me. It's like he's never watched this player play. I mean, he keeps talking about him and he's awful. But anyway, here's how the discussion basically went. So I presented some very astute analysis, and I talked about his crosshair placement, the way he plays certain positions. And then Quack said, yes, but he's cute. And, we went back and forth for a while.
To be fair, you were the one who said Hades was cute. You were the one.
Didn't say I made him good, though. Quite an important part of that conversation. But yeah,
fair.
Thank you to the members. They get access to interviews with people, behind the scenes content. Today's behind the scenes rather active, a lot of members in today, and then the prospect demo VODs, as well as all other live VODs actually that aren't this show pretty much are also just members only. So come member, get access to all that good stuff, a lot of demo watching, a lot of analysis, and a lot of random chatter, because our live streams are often derailed by random things and random questions. But yeah, Quack, anything to promo?
No, it's been a very quiet week for me, and for especially work-wise. I did a short stream on Thursday. It was quite short and not much happened. Yeah, there might be more streams this week. I don't know. It depends. It depends on what things happen. I'm starting to do more and more streams actually though. So like they just appear out of nowhere. So follow me on Twitter, follow me on Twitch and everything. And they're actually a lot of fun. So yeah, don't miss those.
Yeah, I mean, I will be, of course, streaming a couple times this week, just in terms of the standard demo review stuff. And I might, it depends on what days of the week I've got all the time. I might be doing some major shenanigans, watching a lot of major games, having the CSTV, obviously, because I'm not allowed to do the proper restreaming. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. There's going to be a lot of content surrounding the major, at least from us, whilst I'm still in the country, because I do have a couple of holidays popping up. Randomly in June. I've got 2 holidays in June. That's going to be fun. But let's get straight into major topics. Let's talk about, firstly, Quacke. You haven't done a Pickem video.
Mm-hmm.
Let's find out your Pickem. Who have you taken to go 3-0, 0-3, all that good stuff? Let's hear it.
All right, I have a picture here, which is not on screen, but I've gone for, I'll start with my 0-3. I think it's the most boring. I put Legacy and Genghis Warriors. We've talked before about how Legacy aren't that good under pressure. They're under an immense amount of pressure. They shouldn't be here, and I think they themselves know that they shouldn't be here. And that's something which makes me feel like, they're not going to do too hot, so I've put them 0-3. I've put Genghis Warriors, just straight up think they're the weakest team in this bracket. So I'll take anybody to beat them. But honestly, they could upset. Like, I could just as well have put Fluxo here. Maybe NRG, maybe Linvision. But I'm going to say Genghis Warriors. I just think it's the safer pick.
I'm going to be honest, hang on, time out. For me, there's no conversation Chinggis at 03. Like, the only debate point is the other team you put next to them. If you don't have Chinggis 03, you've been smoking something. Like,
Yeah, but it's like if we end up with Chinggis versus Linvision in the O3 game.
2-0. Linvision 2-0.
Alright, Fluxo though, like Fluxo or SOAS.
That whilst that is true, you don't have them 03. So clearly they're going to beat someone, and that's going to be Chinggis Warriors.
I mean, yeah, probably.
The Fluxo have a far better roster as far as like tier 1 experience, top end talent in terms of proven. Chinggis Warriors, it's a bunch of. It's not even the top players in terms of raw talents in the region. It's just players. Like, that's how it feels. There's nothing to really threaten me on Chinggis Warriors if I'm Fluxo. So that should be a breeze even for them.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I do think. I don't think I'm going to be wrong in the O3. I think at least one is going to hit. Legacy. I mean, I've been kind of high on Legacy before because I think they have talented players. They have some experience. There's a couple of players on here who I think are not playing their first major. So, yeah, but I'm still thinking O3 here. If nothing else, for the fact that they might have, like, when they lost in the RMR, they might have had, like, started thinking about roster changes. This might even be a dead team, like, as far as we know. It might even be like somebody here is not going to be here after the summer anyway. And we'll just see what happens there. For my 3-0, I've gone Heroic. Literally everyone I've seen do their Pickem has put Heroic 3-0, and that's based as hell. They should be 0-3. Or 3-0, sorry. They should be 3-0. It's a no-brainer for me.
Yeah.
They are honestly a playoff contender in my mind, so there's no reason why they shouldn't be 3-0. And I've also put Complexity, which I'm a little bit tentative on that because they are probably missing Holzerk.
Well, currently they're listed as having Junior.
Yeah, I mean, it's happening tomorrow, so at least for stage 1, I'm assuming they're missing Holzerk, and after that, maybe he can come back. I'm not sure, but like, if you know, this major is quite long, so if the visa process is still going to be ongoing, so like I'm assuming he can jump in stage 2 or stage 3 or whatever. But that's also a team, like, I think even without him, I think Grim can still do enough. I think the team can still do enough. They still have a high seeding, like they're still gonna have pretty favorable matchups in those first couple of rounds. So unless they end up against Heroic in that final game, I'm pretty sure, or maybe Wildcard. Maybe Wildcard could also do something against them. Unless they end up in that sort of situation, I do think they're still going to be 3-0. Junior isn't, like, he's not. I think Junior can still deliver like a base level performance, which is enough to carry them through. I don't think he's going to weigh them down, as much as he hasn't been that hot in tier 1 before. I mean, it's possible. Nice for him to get that chance as well. Anyway, my advancing pick. This is what I thought was really hard. There's only maybe like 4 or 5 teams I definitely didn't want to put in advanced.
Yeah, there's a few teams where like it gets, for me it was like there's 6 spots there. The top 3 I felt very easy. Next 3 I'm fighting to justify some of these picks over others, versus then if I did pick that other team, I'm then fighting again to justify them over the team I just replaced. Like, the next sort of 3 after that gets a bit rough. Essentially, in your head, it's like the 3-1 picks I can envision. I've got them.
Yeah.
The 3-2 picks, I'm in a war. Like, I don't know who I'm putting through.
No. So maybe the 3 I didn't want to put through whatsoever, aside from my O3 picks, were I didn't want to put Fluxo through. Not like, Fluxo are such a mishmash of a team for me because they have like this mix of really unproven players with players who were proven to be bad. Like, it's like yeah, like, I think as much as I like Art, his time has passed. ZV, I like ZV. But like, his time was at the Antwerp major. Like, for now, I'm not gonna, like, it's a bit late for him. Kai, I think, is somewhere in between. It's too early, and he's also bad. And then you also have like Mulazin, who they just picked up from MIBR Academy. Like, not too big on him either. It's either too early or he's shit. And then fucking Pariah Jura is Also, just somebody who was around in shit tier Brazilian play for so long that I can't really say that I think he's pretty good. So
Yeah, he
Flux, I
wasn't
wouldn't want to put through.
another academy kid. He was a Fury academy kid at some point. Period.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
think it's just Pyria, then he's junior, so just Pyria. I think
yeah.
is what it's supposed to say, because otherwise I don't. Well, bloody hell, I can't even think that's supposed to be one damn name. No, he's.
Yeah, no.
Look, he's one of those players where it's like for them he's been really strong, but it's Brazil, and like I always have that caveat of like I don't know what's actually going on down there. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I've tried to figure it out, but I just don't understand. So I never quite put stock in those results. I'm always a bit iffy on that. So yeah, he's got good numbers, but doesn't mean a lot.
Yep. Another one I didn't want to put through whatsoever is NRG. I don't think they're making any better than 2-3. They have some proven players. They have some players who can hit quite hard, like Hexton Bro. On their day, Ozzy and Georgie can also do pretty good. But it's like, I just don't see it right now. Maybe next major, like if this lineup stuck together, sort of hitting some better results, starting playing some more tier 1 lands, maybe next major I'd be down for them to make it through, but at this point, no. And also Imperial, I just don't think Imperial are that good in like whatsoever. I like a lot of the guys. I like Vinny, I like Try. I like their younger players, which they've taken a chance on, but their results just haven't been there whatsoever. Anytime they go outside of local Brazilian play, I feel like they don't really do anything. So yeah, kind of down on them. But what I put through, I put Medisport through, which is a little bit of cope, but like they also are pretty good. Like they have good form, and yeah, they're doing good. I put OG through. OG is one which I honestly could see them go 3-0, but I've put them through because I think they're gonna end up 3-1 or 3-2. Put Wildcard through. I think Wildcard as well, like a top 20 team, should definitely make it through. Then I put Tai Lu through. I think Tai Lu showed good stuff against good opposition. And I'm gonna, like, another one which I kind of have to mention here is, like, Lin Vision. Because I feel like Lin Vision, I could have put through for the same reasons that I'm putting Tai Lu through. Like, having shown good stuff against good opposition in good events. But Tai Lu are the better pick, and I'm not gonna pick both. So I'm gonna say Tai Lu there.
The caveat I have to throw out here is there's a gulf currently, it feels like, between Tai Lu and Vision. As much as they have had similar-ish runs, the last month has just been Tai Lu completely outclassing them in every match, and not just head-to-head, but in terms of who in any like matchup with any opponent. Tai Lu have just played such a high level of CS, and against Lin Vision, a lot of crappier, like scrappy young Asian teams have a chance to take a map, do something. You don't get that against Tai Lu. They don't give you any quarter. They're playing really solid CS, especially for their region. They've got all the talent in the world, and it's currently popping off. Now, Tai Lu, for me, the reason I don't pick them is almost like a coin flip mentally. But I've been saying this to everyone since then. If you're going to put Tai Lu through, go for it. Go for it. Once you actually do the deep analysis, you look at who their matchups are, who they could play, how it could play out. The things I didn't do on my live stream when I was doing the pickems. They are really favourable to be just 2-0 out off the bat with very easy games, and then just need to win 1 BO3. And they have a really strong chance to do that. So no, I think Tai Lu's an excellent pick. I just think Lin Vision is a terrible pick, so no one should consider putting them through.
Yeah, but then I get to some of the ones which I'm a little bit iffy on. Bet Boom is one of those, like, they're obviously talented, like they're obviously a tier 1 contender.
Yes.
Or for sure. They never show anything that I'm impressed of. Like throughout the whole season, I feel like I haven't seen them impress a single time, aside from like Blast Bounty. Every time they play a CCT, they go out in 1 game or 2 games. Every single time. They never make a deep run. Like, they're always one of the best teams invited straight into CCT playoffs. They should win this. They should win this event against every other team in this bracket. They always lose every single time. So, and I get, that's online. We're heading into LAN. We have Exile, we have Boom Edge, we have Zorti. Like, we have good players here. We should be able to do good stuff. I'm not sure about them. And they're also tied to another team, which I think is Nemiga, because I have absolutely no idea what I'm expecting from Nemiga. Because Nemiga could go 0-3. They could absolutely bomb out of this. They also fucking won a LAN. Like, they won a LAN half a year ago. They won a LAN event. And it was smaller, but it was a lot of the similar tiers of opposition, because we're talking about, like, I mean, fucking Heroic basically were there because it was Sangal. you had teams like this. Like if they face an OG or a Medisport, Nemiga could easily win that. If they face Bait, Nemiga could easily win that. They could also easily lose that. It's so difficult for me to pick this. So Betboom and Nemiga, again, like I think both could make it, but I don't want to put both. So I picked Betboom because of the talent factor there. But they're one of the ones I'm tentative on as well. So
I'm pretty bullish on that Betboom team.
Yeah.
Like for me, they are a, as you put it, it's kind of stacked roster in terms of legit tier 1 talent. Like not just, oh, they're a talented, like young crack team. No, they're tier 1 level talents. Like we've seen them at various points on this, players on this team play in tier 1 play and be good enough. More than good enough.
Yep.
We've got weird like form reads on them, basically, is the part that makes them a bit weird. But they are, on paper, leagues ahead of a lot of the competition here. Nemiga don't have that. Nemiga were a weird team playing in like an off-meta style initially when they started bursting through a bit, just a little bit, with Xanta being the key point of focus for that team, like succeeding. He's really fallen off and basically been replaced in terms of the fragging by Zvei, whatever the hell. And that's cool and all. But again, it's a more lurkish sort of player making aggressive plays to carry them through games. The core of the roster is very hard to depend upon. This Lear, Risky Bob, Khan sort of trio.
Yeah.
What am I getting from these guys with any consistency? And it's usually all over the shop. So I can't pick Nemiga with any good conscience, but at the same time, I've said this in comment replies, I'm like, they're the bogey team of this section.
Yeah.
Like they're the team who's going to ruin everything, screw the seeding up, just because they're tricky to play against.
Yeah. And they start the event with a game against Betboom, which is fully damn winnable. Like Nemiga could easily win a best of 1 against Nemiga, against Betboom, even a best 3. They play each other. Betboom win most of the time, but Nemiga won the last time. Like in the actual RMR, Nemiga won the best of 3 pretty fucking convincingly against Betboom, and we have that same matchup happening now. Like I don't know what to think here. So Nemiga are one I definitely could have picked, but my final pick is going to be Bait because I like Bait. They had that great run through the RMR to make it through. They shouldn't have been 0-2 in the first place. They still upswung and won five best of 3s in a row, which is insane.
Yeah.
They always kind of disappoint when they go on LAN. Like this Mesa Nomadic thing, I would have expected to see them in the final, but they struggled against Big. Both the games they lost actually was against Big, and then they basically walked it home by playing Huns, GG Hao, and Chinggis Warriors. But like the two teams that I feel like they needed to challenge at this event, which was Heroic and Big, they didn't really do much. Granted, there were a lot of tech issues. Maybe they had a convincing map win against Big, but that's over 5 maps where they lost the other 4. And I'm not too big on that at the moment. But I'm still gonna put them through because I feel like they definitely could. Maybe they should. And there's one more team which I haven't mentioned, which is the one which I talked about this in BTS. I'm sort of feeling that FlyQuest should make it through here. I don't like FlyQuest. I don't like them. I don't think they play good CS. I don't think they're a good team. I still feel like, especially with this being a major, they should maybe make it through over Bait. But I'm not confident enough to put that, so I've kept it on Bait. And it's also like I kind of want to pick what I want to pick. Like I want Bait to make it through, so I'll probably, that's sort of why I'm keeping them. But I feel like that 2-2 series, both FlyQuest and Bait are going to be there. They might even play each other. And if it's Bait versus FlyQuest, I'm probably picking FlyQuest, honestly, if we end up with that in the 2-2 game. The thing is just like, I want Bait to make it through, and I cannot really put FlyQuest in over anybody else.
Your read of FlyQuest to beat Bait in that hypothetical best of 3, is that based on Bait choking, or is it based on the fact that you think FlyQuest are a better Counter-Strike team?
I'd say both. I'd say it's Bait choking, and it's the fact that there's a lot of talent to activate on FlyQuest. While Bait, their talent, not really it's not really all there all the time. Like Kenzisor, he hasn't really been there so far for Bait. He's been a little bit here and there. NPL always there. Headtrick's a bit here and there, like a little bit here and there. While Regali isn't. Like Regali just hits, and then you have Netic and Vexite who can activate. Do they at a major? Absolutely no idea. But yeah, like so for that, like FlyQuest, they're gonna look shit, but they might still win. Bait, I think, are gonna look good, but they might still lose. You know what I mean? Like it's.
See, the thing is, I
sort of
can't agree on that, just because for me, Bait never look good. Like outside of like 13-2s, they're always playing scrappy games. Always.
All right.
And it's ugly. And especially if you're watching a Kenzie POV, it's going to get real fucking ugly. Because he's doing grueling, dirty work. But still will come out of half the series they play with like a 1.08, 1.09 rating. You're like, how? It's because he'll get like 3 triples at half. but just get brutally savaged for the majority of the game, trying to die for his team. And Bait just kind of embody that scrappiness, it feels like. And their top-end talent, MPL and Headtrick, have in the past had some struggles on LAN. And last year especially, I think they on LAN all dropped to a sub 1.0. But this year, they've only played one real LAN event, and they played individually a lot better. So it's one of those things, do you buy into that or do you not? Because I can't buy into the idea that FlyQuest is going to outplay them. I can buy into the idea that Bait are just going to choke. Like, they're going to throw it away. Like, that's more what I see happening.
Like, I would think this is a 3-mapper or a close 2-mapper, and it ends up with something like Bait having match point but losing overtime. Like, that's if that game happens, that's how I feel like it happening. But I do, if they don't play, I can absolutely see Bait making it through, because FlyQuest also can just lose like games straight up out of nowhere. I think it was last major they went 2-0 up after the best of ones, and then they just couldn't win the best of threes whatsoever. So I don't know. I could see it going either way. If I'm putting FlyQuest in, it's gonna be over Bait, but I'm gonna put Bait in. That's what I want to happen. That's what I'm gonna pick to happen.
So speaking of wanting to happen, because a lot of that ending speech about Bait was about wanted to happen, not necessarily thinking it will happen.
Well, so it could, but yeah.
That was something I had a pretty interesting idea for this episode. It's like, why don't we design the perfect major? Now, I think we're going to do it different individually, because I think we have very conflicting views on what makes a perfect event. But I think it'd be a fun thing to talk about. So the perfect major. What would make this major fucking goated? And I've got a bunch of things to go through in terms of winners, little details. Let's start with the easiest. For you, for this major to be perfect, who wins it?
Oh, to be perfect. Okay. So what I'm thinking here is you don't want like a bullshit upset kind of thing. You don't want a huge fluke. Like, I'm not going to say to make it. I wouldn't think, even as much as I think a Mongols win or something would be really fun, I don't think it would make it perfect. Right. You know? There would still be a lingering thought in my mind that like this definitely shouldn't have happened, and it's a shame we didn't get to see like the big game. So I'll probably it's a bit boring, but especially when it comes to like major finals, what I really like to see is like excellence. So I'll probably say Vitality to take it, just because I do think like, as much as it's boring to pick the favorite to win, it's still like, if I saw Vitality crush, not even crush, play a close major final, but close it out like with absolute peak level CS, that would probably be my perfect major final. So I'm gonna say Vitality.
Okay. One category in, and so far you're correct. That is the correct option. To cap off this season with someone else winning the major, it either has to be one of the top teams, or it has to be Vitality, just putting a perfect exclamation mark on the season. That would be for me the most satisfying thing to happen. Would be we close it off. This was an era sort of season, like 7 straight events won, MVPs galore for ZywOo. Vitality playing amazing CS. Now that brings me to the next part of it, though. Would you have ZywOo as the MVP?
Oh,
by choice, if you had to choose who ends up being the MVP, like perfect major, is it also ZywOo MVP?
Honestly, no. I like major performances that kind of stick out. Somebody steps forward. I think my pet pick would probably be like FlameZ just absolutely destroying the major, take home a major MVP.
Okay.
Just because I like him and I like the fact that he kind of steps forward. But I think maybe the better the better MVP out of Vitality would probably be Zaiwu. I would not Rops or Flamesy, I would probably say. Although I would also be kind of amused if we had something like a Donk MVP, like if Spirit make it to the final, Donk drops at 155 or whatever and still
A
loses.
second place MVP for Donk at a major.
We have never had a second place MVP at a major.
Yeah, for good reason. We
and
rarely have like massive overperformances in majors. Like last year was
not for
like Shanghai in terms of the rating we got from Donk and Magic's to a lesser extent. Those were insane ratings. I mean, Magic's basically just good in the grand final, but like Donk's rating was like a 1.5 or something, 1.6. It might have been one of the highest rated MVPs we'd ever seen. Rarely do we see that high rating on a major MVP winner. So, no, it could be. The door could be open for that. But it'd also be a bit wild.
Yeah. I'm not too amused by Zaiwu winning MVPs anymore. He's won too many. It feels boring.
Boring next.
Yeah. So I would probably say like maybe a Rops or a Flamesy, like a Rops or a Flamesy absolute activation in playoffs, to like beat Zaiwu outright. That would probably be the best. We could like. There's performances we've had which could have been second place MVPs if they made the second place in the event. Like Electronic in Berlin was so like he was the best rated player of the event, but they ended in the quarterfinal. Like Navi went out in the quarterfinal.
Yeah.
If they were on the other side of the final and played a close final against Astralis and Electronic put that up, I think Electronic could have been a second place major MVP in that.
Yeah, that's a huge could. They didn't even make the semi. Like.
Yeah, it's a huge could. So for that, I can't think of anybody else who has been close. But I would be kind of amused by like a Donk second place MVP. But I think I'd rather have somebody on Vitality pip Zaiwu for it.
Okay, I'd want Zaiwu actually. Honestly, I feel like this would be like it'd be a bit weird for me if this was won by someone else. Like, 'cause it feels like that'd be a bit of an anticlimax. Because I actually want to just disagree with something there. Every single MFer on that team cannot pop off and get the MVP. We've seen that. It's been proven 6 times straight. Like, the majority of the Rifle Corps does super well. It's really strong. Like, everyone who's not Rops in that Rifle Corps doesn't really have a chance to win MVPs. They don't deliver those numbers with any sort of consistency. They don't pop off that high. The point is, Rops has a chance, I think, to make that happen within the flow of how they normally win, right?
Yeah.
Flamesy would be a bigger reach. The other two would be impossible.
Flamesy would be like Ray. Flamesy would be like Rain in Antwerp. Like it would have to be an underperformance from the players, or a relative underperformance from the players who should be on top. But Flamesy steps into that role.
Which would be
is also like.
It's cool, but it's not as satisfying, I think, as seeing them rounded off in the way they play. And then after that was like, okay, how the fuck do we solve this? Like everyone else has to basically have a mother's meeting and be like, how do we beat this absolute juggernaut who's just pounded us for 7 events? Like, that for me would be the right way to end the season. Fairy Tale team. So I've put this category in. This is the team that's going to have a run, a dream run. You decide from where they start, where they end. But who are they?
It's got to be Metasport.
You want a Metasport?
Okay, I'll throw in some picks. Metasport Dream Run would be nice. Like we get Metasport to make it.
Dream Run making stage 2.
I think making stage 3 is a Dream Run at this point.
For them, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm thinking like if I'm thinking other Dream Runs we've had, Gamer Legion making the Paris final was obviously a little bit of bullshit, but it was also like they were barely even in. I think they were 0-2 in the contender stage at one point, like in the first stage. And then they made it 3-2 from 3 elimination games, make it through into the next stage, and then they make playoffs out of that. So that was a nice run, and I enjoyed that sort of run. And if Metasport did that run, I would be shitting myself. But for them, with the additional stage, I think making stage 3 would be that sort of fairy tale. I wouldn't mind like a heroic run would also be amazing. Like if we end up with a heroic quarterfinal or something, that would be nice. As much as I did say I think my favorite pick for the win would be Vitality, I do still think like a Mongols major winning run would be quite cool. Just for the hell of it. And also like if Wildcard were to make the quarterfinal, I also think that would be cool. Maybe like if I'm stretching it, maybe like a Liquid Fairy Tail run could be cool. Like Liquid making the final or Liquid making the win off of a really weak season, but then they come to NA and make that happen. But they're not even that NA anymore, so I wouldn't even.
They're really not. Yeah.
Maybe Complexity then. Maybe Complexity instead of them. No, I would say I'd say a Metasport Fairy Tail run into stage 3 or a heroic run into the quarterfinal. I think that would be my best Fairy Tail runs.
Interesting.
Anything like if heroic make it deeper than that or Metasport make it deeper than that, I would probably think that's just bullshit. Even I would think that like there would have to be some bullshit happening for that to happen. And even that would like it would sour it even for me. Even if I love those teams, even for me, I would be upset at that. I think.
For me, the problem I have is Metasport making stage 3 would seem like a farce to me already. Like that's by itself a farce. Heroic making stage 3 seems reasonable, given their ceiling they've showed. Especially to make stage 3, potentially beating FaZe in stage 2 would be sensational drama. But FaZe is where, look, people in chat are already calling for a FaZe Fairy Tail, and I'm going to talk about it because FaZe are one of those teams. They are part of the culture. They have too many legends, too many fan favorites to not be a critical part of the drama of an event. Now, if I'm designing it perfectly, add Simple into the mix on top, and it just gets insane. So in NA, the team with Simple and Elige, the duo that saved NACS in terms of making them start believing in something back in 2016. They come back on FaZe after a relatively poor season, not even a great start with Simple, and make top 4.
I'd like that.
They don't have to make the grand final, but just make top 4 and then lose to like the Vitality. Maybe have a plucky map 1 and then just get smoked on the next 2 because it's just unreasonable to expect them to do anything more. That would be the fairy tale run of the event. Like, we're talking about the return of a player we hadn't seen in so long in CS. We're talking about an event that will be will have some of the most excited fans will ever witness, because it's, North American major again. They tend to show up and show out. Having a team that's so culturally important to us, with so many key players, one of our GOAT IGLs, one of our GOAT candidates for all of CS, but definitely the GOAT of CSGO on that team, temporarily as it seems for now, as well as some older legends and some new up-and-comers, would be so banger. It'd be so banger to see them make top 4. It'd take some upsets, obviously, along the way.
Yeah.
They probably have to beat one of Falcon's, Mouse, or Spirit, I think, to get even to that point.
Yeah.
So it would be a pretty absurd run. But in terms of fairy tale runs, that would be the pinnacle for me. Like, that would be... everyone's rooting for them. Everyone would be loving it. They'd have a valid place to crash out that isn't the final, so we could still have a banger final, right?
Yeah.
We could have them, have that sort of dream run with that temporary Simple addition. That would be the perfect moment for a FaZe miracle.
Yeah, but it would have to be that they actually play good. Like, I wouldn't like it if Rain is dropping 0.85 and they're somehow still making it through.
Or like if Rain is dropping 0.85, Simple's dropping at 1.4, and no one gives a fuck. Like, no one gives a fuck.
No, but like, it has to be Frozen, Elige, and Simple work. Rain has a solid floor, and Kerrigan is calling a good game, and they make top 4 for that. It would have to be something like that, because if they're just absolutely bullshitting their way into the semifinal, I would probably still be upset, because that's like, this team has not worked all season. It's still not working, but somehow they made it here, and that's still like bullshit.
You don't want a Navi major win type run?
No, I don't. That's not what I want. We hate that on this show. We've been indoctrinated to hate that on this show.
Indoctrinated? No, we are just correct in our beliefs.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. I like the FaZe major run idea. All right. So
I like it as long as it's good.
Which team is the opposite? They have their disaster, their doom. this is the worst event they play all year. They massively underperform. Everyone starts ripping them to pieces, starts roasting the players. Everyone should get replaced. Kassad has a classic Kassad moment. Hot take, point main. Hot take, cut everyone on X team. Sign who? Me.
I'd probably have to say Navi or G2, to be honest. Because they're just primed for that big fall off. And I'm not even sure they're valid because both of their seasons have been so shit already.
Yeah. Navi have still made a majority of playoffs, right, this year?
Yep.
Well, actually,
they're pretty good in groups.
Have they? Pro League playoffs. Some of them aren't top
pretty
4,
good in groups,
so they're not actually like shown on HLTV. Yeah, top 6.
No, but they are. I think maybe there's one event they haven't made playoffs.
Missed playoffs in Melbourne. Yeah,
by one game.
Playoffs in Melbourne. Still missed playoffs. And they made playoffs in Astana. So no, they've been making playoffs. It's just there's very few deep runs. They haven't been past the top. They haven't even made top 4 since Katowice.
Yeah, I think G2 or Navi like crashing out. I don't have them in playoffs. If they absolutely crash out, that's the sort of thing which is going to be. This is a major winning team, everybody. Like for Navi, but now they've crashed out of 2 straight majors. They have to make changes, and then meanwhile you have Mekaze absolutely destroying in the academy, and whatever. Like there's obviously changes happening, and there's obviously stuff happening there. G2, we already know shit's happening, and
G2 doesn't feel like a particularly interesting one, where it's like we kind of know it's a dead roster, so. Whatever.
Yeah, we know they're not making anything happen. Anything else, I feel like I don't think there's a top team crashing out, which I would find that enjoyable. Like, I'm not sure, as much as Falcons bombing out would be nice because it's Falcons, it's also a bit like this is a decent team, and we already know they're making changes as well. Like, this is not their final form. FaZe would just be sad. I would much prefer the Cinderella run. And like Spirit, Mouse, whatever. No, I don't see a good ending out of Spirit or Mouse crashing out.
Yeah, so for Spirit and Mouse, crash out might just be like they lose in the quarters. They're the team that gets upset by FaZe, that might be. And in that sense, in terms of damage mitigation, I'd pick like Mouse to be my victim in that sense. Like,
I mean, when you're asking me which one would I most like to see as like a big failure, what I'm thinking about is what would have a positive outcome, and that would probably be Navi. Like, who would have a positive reaction to making that happen? I don't see that out of Mouse. I think Mouse have the best roster they've had in a while. Spirit as well, like there's no change they can make now that they've sold Kyusuke. There's nothing they can make which is gonna end up good. Aurora and Mongols as well. I feel like, what are you gonna do? Like, these teams have to stick together the way they are.
Bloody hell! Like them doing terribly in stage 3, not making playoffs. You just kind of have to shrug because everyone saw it coming. It's kind of been the take right now, like for a while.
Yeah.
And like Aurora have been downtrending. Everyone's thinking they're just not going to make playoffs at the major. Dallas was a good run relative to that expectation.
Yeah.
But this could be already a predicted downfall.
Yeah. So like Navi going like 1-3 or something is probably the one which I feel like is the people still expect that Navi can do something, and there's still precedent to say that they're going to make it out of stage 3 and make it into playoffs. If they absolutely bomb out, they're nowhere near playoffs. Big underperformance from the star players. That's what I feel like could have the most positive change, because you like the most satisfying outcome of that, because there's going to be roster changes. So there's gonna be, I'm assuming, there's probably gonna be some academy kid coming in, or some other exciting signing from another top team. Like, something fun might happen there. There's also, like, as much as the team is underperforming, I'm still pretty high on Imma, JL, and Wonderful. So like, in terms of them trickling down into some other team somewhere in the 15-20 range, could be really satisfying. Like, that could be, for a Counter-Strike enjoyer as a whole, that could be really fun. If we end up with, I don't know, Wonderful, I guess, would be a candidate for like replacing Sun Pius. Could be. Maybe an IP, pick up somebody out of there, like a JL or an Imma. Could be cool for an IP. Like, there's some fun stuff which could happen there. So, what I know, I think Navi would be my. Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, I can see Navi making the most of it. I think the big thing we have with considering Navi changes is, does Blade agree? Does Blade agree?
Yeah.
Blade needs to be on the same page as a guy who wants changes. And as far as I'm aware, there's no plan in place for that sort of thing to happen. That could be changing because we haven't heard much talk out the camp for a while. They don't look like they're having a great time, so changes feel necessary. So it could be.
I think what Alexi B said pretty much outright, we have to do something here at this major or stuff is going to happen. Like, I think stuff is definitely in the pipeline. You could have said that like stuff should have happened after Shanghai, but they kept going with it. I think the patience that Blade and Navi have with their rosters, as always, it should have run out half a year ago, but it's probably going to happen now. So I would say like Bit leaving out of his own mind, yeah, entirely possible if they crash out of here. Imma JL, wonderful, good for like a 20 level team if they want to restart their careers, and some team need an improvement. So for that, like imagine something crazy like a wonderful trickling down into one of these up and coming Ukrainian teams. Like, who's opting for passion right now? Waro. Okay, never mind.
Not happening. Probably not happening.
I don't feel like there's a great opper on TNL. Imagine that.
Was it Flyrax? Is that
yeah,
the team?
Might be.
Yeah, it is Flyrax. He's the order, right? I was just for me, it's more about remembering which team's which in Ukraine, not remembering who's an AWPer. I know Flyrax is an AWPer for the team with Davi. I was like, are they TNL? I'm trying to remember, but yeah.
Yeah, no, it is. But like, imagine something like that. Like, Wonderful gets benched, and over the summer he gets signed by TNL. Absolutely revamps that team. And suddenly we have Bait, TNL, Passion, doing good stuff at the top of tier 2. That could be a really fun outcome. And like, Imma brings a lot to the table outside the server as well. That's something which could really reinvigorate like a 20 to 30 level team. I'm genuinely thinking like NIP over Imma over U-Jerks. I'd probably take that.
Yeah, it depends on. I don't know if those are the roles for you that U-Jerks has right now that makes sense for him, but he'll find a spot. That's the thing. I think Imma will be all right. As much as I'll say he's one of the players I'd cut, I still think he'd find a place.
I'll say another one. JL for NAV could be pretty cool.
Good luck convincing people of that one. Good luck convincing people of that fucking move. But all right, that's kind of.
I'm having a hard time convincing myself.
I guess Navi is your team to crash out.
Do you have a clear crash out team which you would like to fail?
Honestly, no. And that's the problem. I have too many narratives for the strong teams to want them to completely crash and burn. As someone in chat correctly asks, how would Aurora even get better? So Aurora going 0-3 adds no value to my life.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know what that could bring me. I guess there's a small part of me that's like, I feel it be satisfying for VP to go 0-3. Just like truly bottom out the roster. Just whoop, done. Cut him. Get rid of him. Just burn it. So that's kind of my takeaway. Is like, yeah, VP would be a decent team to lose, like as a scene. That roster no longer exists. We reform. We try something else. But yeah,
pretty good pick. Yeah.
Drama. Would you want your choice? Pick something. A bug abuse. Players getting a fist fight. Some player screaming like some shit at another player, and then there's bullshit op-eds written about it. You know, like I'm talking any kind of drama you want. Would you want some, and what would it be, and who'd be involved? Screw it, give me everything. Give me all the tea.
What kind of drama have we had? We've had the first thing I'm thinking about is in Paris when we had Waro and Simple. They played that show match and got into a huge fight over it. And then Waro beat Simple at the Paris Major. That was quite fun. It's not necessarily drama at the Major, but like it's kind of iconic because there's that picture of like... Yeah, there's that picture after the game when Simple walks by and War's looking at him, and it's in the fucking HLTV photo book, which I have in my living room. It's a classic picture. Let me see what... yeah. Let me see what could actually happen. So I don't see any big like drama things. I'm thinking maybe something with like... I'm thinking something like a Spirit Falcons game for some reason. I feel like that could get heated for some reason. And I don't know why. Hmm. Hmm. I can't really think of one. I guess who's like a troublemaker. Like the heroic guys are kind of like that. They're kind of
The youngster's a yapper and a bit of a dickhead.
yeah, we love him for it.
In the best way possible. Yeah.
I would quite like if he goes on a desk interview and says something about something that like whoever their next opponent's going to be. If he does that again, that would be really funny. Um, or like if heroic end up beating Falcons in some bullshit way in stage 3, like in a key round in a key round. There's some of that like. Do you remember in the RMR when the fucking bomb didn't spawn? Yeah, that's a picture. That's pictures. Yeah. It's an excellent picture. It's an excellent picture. And now we have to give royalties to HLTV for showing that picture.
I already paid for the damn book. I can suck it.
Yeah, it was not cheap. I'll tell you that. It was no, but like, I kind of would like that. Like, if heroic end up beating Falcons in like some bullshit way. Like, do you remember in the RMR Dignitas Eternal Fire and like the bomb despawned in like a key round? And Eternal Fire, they still play out the round, but then they still got to restart the round even after Dignitas won it because the bomb despawned, and that's how they lost the game.
Something like that would be so annoying, but yeah, I can see it. Like, or maybe like, in some game no one really cares about. Like, there's like one player takes 1 damage from getting hit by a decoy at the start of the round, and just after that, someone's PC crashes. You know, and then they're forced to play it out. Damage was dealt. You know.
Yeah, or like something like heroic are up 12-11 final map against Falcons, and then like 10 seconds in the round they discover there's no bomb, or like they discover some bullshit, and just youngster just plays time, and then like and then Falcons distraught over losing this game, heroic go through to playoffs, and it's like the whole work harder thing is just pops up all over again. I don't know. It could be something like that. I'm thinking VP could, for some reason, VP feel like an angry team. I feel like they're really angry. I'd probably like some drama with somebody shouting something. I don't know what, but like there's a bunch of shouty players. Like a 3D Max Vitality game that could get really heated. Like Gravity really likes to shout. Apex really likes to shout.
Yeah, Gravity really likes to yell at Apex and vice versa.
Yeah. Like a VP Spirit game. Or even like a phase Navi game, because I feel like there might be some.
VP would have to get through stage 2 to even face.
Yeah. Oh, phase heroic as well. Just eliminated that, and then Simple had the bot comment. Like,
that'd be
did you see that?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, he called everybody bots.
Yeah, except the Belarusian and some bias.
He said that same quote like 3 times, and every time he said, "I respect some bias. I respect the guy from Belarus." Like he did even between those quotes, he didn't bother learning the name. No, but like I would like that, like something like X-Floud, clutches against face and like fucking shouts him out, and then Simple just plays like a bot the rest of the game and then punches a leech in the face or something. That could be fun. Like grudge matches. That's probably what I would like to be the best drama. Yeah. I wouldn't really like a bug. A bug would be unsatisfying. Like PC crash or a bug or whatever.
Grudge matches galore. That'd be sick.
Yeah. Oh, if a team found like some bug, kind of like what Odic did with the scout, where you could like run forward and back. If they found something almost game breaking like that and saved it for the major, I'd kind of be like, I respect that. I respect that a lot. So that could be fun. But yeah, mostly grudge matches. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, let's find out. I mean, we've been getting really into the trash talking in CS.
Yeah.
Not like Valorante child game where they barely talk.
Yeah.
Like we have some proper yappers in the pro scene. Talking some pretty hot fire. So yeah, no, that'd be cool. So finally, design. What would be like? It's obviously got to be in the playoffs. And the iconic clip that defines the event, like a map, a player, what happens. I have some ideas for me what I'd like to see, but
so last year it was that clip was Rops with the jumping no scope phase winning the 2v5 to keep themselves alive. That was the clip.
That was the clip the major,
for Shanghai. What are some other examples we've
also,
had? It's always
which
been...
caster's going to be not currently on the mic? Like he's going to be the one who's not supposed to be talking, and so who basically is that caster is going to be the guy who goes "oh" in the background. Please notice me, Daddy. whilst the other caster actually does the casting.
Okay. I mean, Sponge is always that guy, but I'd have to say.
Yeah, but what if he's actually live? If he's actually the one commentating in that moment, it's got to be Machine. He goes, "Oh!"
Yeah. Who would be like the most well placed to make a play like that? I feel like it would be a Spirit player. I feel like Donk would be that player.
You want a donk clip? Okay.
Yeah, like a donk clip would probably be it. Or a simple clip. Like a simple is just so perennially inside this major, in every conversation, for good and for better and for worse. Like a simple clip could probably be something like that, or like an Apex clutch, mostly because of like the way he reacts, like the way he riles up the crowd. Probably be something like that. I don't have a clear one. There's a lot of players I could think of, and it has to be like a clutch round. It has to be like a key clutch round in a clutch, like in a important moment for me. What about you? Do you have any clear picks?
Yeah. I know exactly what I'm talking. Okay, so it's going to be... So the part that I'm not 100% sure on right now is the map it takes place on, right? That's the only part I'm not sure on. But because it's going to be... There's people who know their map pools will know which team this is by the map it can't be, which is Ancient. If you know your map pools, you know which team I'm talking about. But I'm thinking... I either want it on Anubis or Train. Okay? It's a Zywoo 1v4 where he uses the AWP, then the AK, then hits the final shot with a Deagle.
Yeah.
The perfect hybrid. Outbrains, out-aims, uses every single weapon. That would be the clutch. In the same way we build up, like, we need them, Vitality, to put the exclamation mark on the season. Really, like, cut it. Finished. 7 straight. Banger. Historic. It has to end with their best player doing what he's become known for, what's kind of become almost the controversy. Like, is he still a main AWPer? Why is he rifling so much? Is his AWP just weak? And he just has that clutch, like 2 AWP kills, switch to the rifle, kill with the AK, run out of bullets, switch to the Deeg, 1 Deeg. That's the clip.
Yeah.
1v4. Don't care which side of the game he's playing, T or CT. That's the clip.
It's like the end of half as well, like he just hits the 1D and then everything just freezes.
And everything stops, right? That's just bang. Like, that's the exclamation mark right there. That's the clip that should define the major. Like, if I have to pick it, like, that defines the season, that does everything I want from my iconic clip.
Yeah.
Because that's one thing I hate. It's like, if the iconic clip's from a team that doesn't win, you're like, it's awesome, it's historic, it reminds you what was great. But I wanted it to be the team that won that event.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be kind of cool. That would be pretty magical. Yeah. I think just like something like that, but for Simple, would really put like a really interesting cap on that. But it's also uninteresting because Simple is nowhere near like in a race to be.
No, he's not
over the year as a whole.
We need it to be, because I liked your idea when you were talking donks. I'm like, that was my other idea. Was we have either donk or Munacy clip, something insane from them that kind of reignites the fire, the fuel of the debate of like, who is the fucking best player right now? Like, because Munacy feels kind of out of it, but he's clearly third. That's just the. I'm sorry, Shiro. You're not third. And then if donk, especially if Zywoo has another like kind of 1.3 rated event, you know, really good. But Donk's hitting like a 1.6, fragging out of control. Has himself like this ridiculous AK round where he's hitting crazy shots. He hits like a donk slide for the middle 2, like he has a spray down whilst donk sliding. You know, crazy ace sort of clip. Don't care.
Yeah, it's like,
don't care where, but like, yeah. Something like that.
It's also the underdog factor that Zywoo is already the candidate who's best placed to win the major and to be the best player of the year. But Donk throwing a spanner into that, I think would make, like, if the Zywoo clip, but it's with Donk, that would make it even more interesting. So I think I would like that sort of underdog feeling. But also, like, if Simple hits something like that, it's probably the last time he does it in a tier 1 event. Let's be entirely honest. I don't think FaZe are continuing with Simple for next season.
If they make top 4, then it'd be almost daft not to.
Yeah, all right, they continue with him for another season, and it doesn't work for that season. I don't see this being a lineup which carries on for a year. So it might be something like, you know, get right in that one Cologne event where like he hits a clip on stage and like Sadakis goes like he might be the last time or whatever. It's a 1-4K against Navi. I don't know. I can't think. Simple is probably the next player who's gonna hit a clip like that, where it's like this is the last time he hits a highlight or whatever. But maybe it's not this major. I don't know. I've been thinking about that a lot. I wrote about Get Right this week, so that's why.
Been on your mind.
I just think a lot about Get
But
Right.
yeah, we could always get like obviously hopefully there will be clips galore from the major. There'll be matches left, right, and center. Like I think we're gonna see maybe enough 3D Max to get a lot of clips. Between the shit talk, players like Gravity and Exercise are just primed, like clip merchants, in terms of the way they play, like their strengths. There's a lot of potential for highlight material at this event, I think. That's why I'm excited for it. I think there's going to be a lot of banger stuff going down. Like, banger stuff, just shit talk, big grudge matches. The way we've designed it especially, perfection.
Yeah.
Perfection.
A lot of, like, there's a lot of grudge which could happen here. Like
there's a lot of beefs that could be settled.
It's not like hard beefs, but I feel like it's primed to create a lot of like generational beef. This is where you end up with like rivalries between Youngster and Monacy or whatever. Like but like this is like nobody's really upset at anyone right now, but there's a lot which could happen about like Gravity Apex. Gravity says something about his mom or whatever.
Heroic BKs in a BO1. Youngster stands up and does the fucking robot.
Yeah, perfect. While X-Flood is just
the right amount of corny as well. I'd love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, he has to do that. If he hits a clip, he has to hit the robot.
That's kind of the conversation we've been having. That's all well and good.
Do we have a small crowd even for the small stages? Because we have that. We had that for Shanghai.
We checked this on the double swing. No small stages.
We had it for Shanghai. We're having it for Budapest, but we couldn't have it for Austin. That's so dumb.
So it's dumb, but it's for an even dumber reason. It's because casually setting up a stage in the US costs so much fucking money. Like getting that sort of thing organized takes apparently so much fucking money.
Why are we in the US? Again, dumbest place to host a major.
Because they're pretty cool. Basically, they've got a huge fan base. They're going to be loud as shit. That's going to be great. Honestly, that part of it, where it's the Americans in attendance, I kind of fuck with. Like, they should be good.
Put a major in Hawaii.
Belligerent, borderline abusive. I love it.
Yeah.
Hawaii.
Right.
No. Fuck no.
Put in Guam.
Even worse.
Everybody's in uniform showing up like, woo! It's just a grey crowd. Grey crowd, all wearing hats.
Yeah, let's talk about some real CS. Not some hypothetical CS. Some real CS.
You got me really hyped for this major. I'm putting all of these games into my fucking calendar right now, so I don't miss any of them.
You're welcome. Yeah. The CCT played this week, a big CCT event. NAVI Junior ended up winning. I thought it'd be interesting to have a chat about this NAVI Junior side, but also just some of these teams in attendance at CCT. Europe Season 3, Europe Series 2. There we go. Bloody hell, very smooth, very easy to say. NAVI Junior just keep winning. Obviously, they won Thunderpick before that. Event before that, they won Yalakampa Spring. They're just all over it in terms of smashing all these different events. Their one letdown, I guess, being that they didn't make it to the LAN portion of the Conquest of Prague. Fell short of that in a game they lost to 9, but they've just been dominating. So first, we want to give them their flowers. Just amazing run. Really showing up and putting a lot of pressure, I think, on those basically top players on the main team to really show up and perform, because it's very hard to justify keeping your players when your academy kids, the ones you don't really have to pay a big buyout for, you don't have to invest a shit ton of money in, are playing this well.
Yeah. Like, we already talked about the fact that Navi might make changes. And this event as well really puts it into perspective as well, because NAVI Junior played a great, an amazing event. I'm going to talk about it more later on in the prospect segment.
They lost one map in
yeah.
the playoff run because they invited directly to playoffs. They lost one map to Ninjas in Pajamas, not some random tier 3 team. They lost one map to NIP, and that's it. They still beat NIP, and they still made mincemeat of everyone else.
Yeah, I saw some people be like, NIP lost to fucking Navi Junior, but it's like, no, that's entirely a legit loss. Like Navi,
yeah.
Navi Junior are like pretty much fucking top 20 at this point. Like it's hard to say any, like I wish we could see these guys on LAN more. But yeah, we have they're definitely one of the 20 best teams in Europe, and that means you're basically best in CCT, like basically. Yeah, it's a great run. The game against Passion is insane because Passion UA are actually pretty decent as well. Like Passion UA are a good team, and Passion UA didn't win a round until the 21st round of the series, I think, because they got 13-0, they got 13-0'd, and then I think they won round. Yeah, it was 9-0 at the start of the second map for Navi Junior as well, before Passion took a round. That's insane.
Ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous.
On a different level. Yeah.
They're creaming. Like, we're talking Quem, War2K, Demka, Jakasmo, Topa. Like, that's not a bum team. They're a team who are a bit strange and haven't quite started flowing, but that's major playoff talent that they're just ruining. Just absolutely running them ragged. And no, Navi Junior have been absolutely insane. And it's always from different players as well. You can see so much in the way they play. It allows for a lot more like impact from different positions. And man, this time Demon had an absolute tear. Let's put it that way. Like, he went on an absolute tear in this event. But it's not something you usually see. But you also had strong performances from Makaze. You also had strong performances from Krabini. Like, there's just so many pieces on this team that fire off. So as much as it is, I wanted to bring up this CCT event to talk about a bunch of other teams potentially, the biggest thing to take away from this is just Navi Junior are dogs. Like, they are animals. And they ripped everyone up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to say anything else. Like, there's a couple of other teams here which I think had some pretty standout performances as well. Like, Partisan making a final is pretty good for them. Passion also making it to semifinal is pretty good for them. I can't even fault NIP for losing to Navi. And honestly, they made it close. Out of all of these matches they played, NIP put it the closest against Navi Junior.
Yeah, win map 1, map 2 goes to OT, or double OT, or triple OT, whatever that was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get blown out on the final one, but yeah. Yeah. This is really cool from Navi. And I don't want them to be Navi Junior. I want them to be something else. So I don't think like any one of these players could go to the main team pretty much, depending on what happens there. There's definitely, like, because anybody on Navi main team could be leaving or replaced, depending on whatever Blade feels is the right move to make. And almost anybody on Navi Junior could reasonably replace whoever's going out. Like, even Symmetry for Wonderful is a realistic transfer, I think, at this point.
Right now, unfortunately, that is scary true. Like, Symmetry is one of the few players on this team. Like, Symmetry doesn't truly excite me in terms of Navi Junior players, right? He's fine.
Yeah.
The crazy part is, right now, you could put him on the main team. Wonderful's not been special. He had a good event in Dallas, and that kind of saved him a bit. But he's not doing anything particularly crazy. And part of it is because of the way Blade uses him. Like, Blade and Lexi B use him. So it's not all his fault. It's not just a talent issue. But yeah, you could just put Symmetry in there.
Yeah, like, you could probably do it. It's probably a side grade. Like, I'm very happy about this team. I'm not sure I see them doing anything other than being in the main team, which is a shame. Like, Navi are not gonna let these guys go cheap. So any of these other players, like, if the door is closed for them to go to the main team, where do they go? I'm not even sure there's anywhere they could go, which is a shame because they're so talented and they should be on some of the best teams in the world. So, yeah.
They're currently in the Valve regional rankings 19th in Europe. So they are, even by Valve's metrics, top 20 in Europe. And that's an insane value proposition for an academy team to have. Like, you are a guaranteed invite to a lot of things. If you're trying to get a new roster. So if this team doesn't get, used by the main team, as in like taken, promoted, you can come in and buy the core of them or buy the entire lot if you're a new org and just take them and be in a prime position to make your way up and through the scene, because that's a massive head start to have over a lot of teams. They're, again, higher rated than Spirit Academy. They've been outperforming Spirit Academy for years now in terms of these online events and things like that, outplacing them quite often.
Yeah.
This is an underrated still, somehow, Academy team as well, which is bonkers to say.
Yeah, the names don't really hit that hard yet. Like, because Spirit Academy have names which make people like notice. You have Kyosuke, you have...
Make people hard, yes.
All right, mostly Kyosuke. You have which people recognize.
It's just Kyosuke. People don't know who anyone else is. If I said who's the AWPer on this team, don't check the stats. 90% of people in the forums would be like, I wouldn't even know where to start.
Yeah,
we know, but for the most part, people just know Kyosuke. People don't know how good of a caller Robo is, how good of an AWPer Alcarin is, how like actually insane Mokujin is at times. Like in terms of his aim, there are times when he rivals Kyosuke in terms of the highlight clips. Like you'll have some crazy fucking moments. Bloody fly.
Yeah, it's
a very very strong team. It's just in terms of play as a team, NAVI Junior outdo them time and time again. Online, because NAVI Junior don't really play a lot of LANs, but still.
Yep, I wish they would play more LANs, to be honest. But yeah, generational team, and hopefully a Navi crash out so we can see Mikaze step into this team after the major. I am cheering against them for that reason. in this major, that's what I want to happen.
Fair enough. Yeah, but look, the other teams of this event that I think had a significant performance, worth noting, Vision took a fat L. They were invited to playoffs and got 2-1'd by Partizan, led by everyone in the modern world's greatest fear, depression. I mean, look, he's had a bit of an up and down career, and at times I've been a big fan of depression. But it's nice to see him bounce back a bit and actually show up and frag out. Like, eliminating this Vision team is no mean feat, especially when you're having to go toe-to-toe with Jame on the AWP. Like, that's a really tough matchup for an AWPer. The Depression got it done. I'm not sure if he head-to-head actually managed to win the AWP matchup with Jame. Oh, he lost 7-6 over the course of the series, but he was able to just rip everyone else apart. Like, just pick them off left, right, and center. And, yeah, that's pretty cool to see him bouncing back and honestly lead this Partizan team from that point onwards. Because the next games are the easier games. But at that point, that's the tough match. And he still has a good series in the final as well. But the key matchup was that one.
Right. Yeah, CCTs are always interesting. We always have a lot of stuff. These are the teams sort of worth watching in a lot of cases, and yeah, it's nice to see these performances. And I don't know if we have another one going on, or do we have like is there going to be
another
CCT?
Series about to start? Like, I checked Navi's profile, and next event is immediately the next CCT.
Yeah.
On June 10th, it starts.
It's a boring part of the slightly boring part of the VRS thing is that they have to use basically the same edition of the VRS to invite teams to this event.
Yeah, I mean, there's a closed qualifier that should be starting tomorrow, the 4th. No, Wednesday.
It throws some Spanish into the works. Like,
they will.
I think. Eyeballers are here, Heroic Academy are here, Copenhagen Wolves, Monty.
Rush B are here. They're a fun team to follow.
What the fuck is up with this Monty team? Well, we'll talk about it later. Yeah, okay.
We've already talked
Rush
about
B
this Monty team. It's it's
no, it's a different Monty team now. It's a different Monty team now.
They've made some changes again. Oh god, no, I know what you mean. Never mind. Yeah, they're dog shit.
We'll talk about it later. They're going to come up later.
Monty's fall off needs to be studied. I'm sorry.
Speaking of fucking major fairy tale runs, yeah.
Like, they have gone so deep. Like, it's half the academy team with some really crap players, like, added on. Like, this is awful. Historical downfall.
Yeah. But all right, yeah, that's been CCT. Good event, nice event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Your small site now. Apparently, Vax Sucks were right? Or were they?
Yeah. A shit ton of pro players were banned on Faceit this week. There was a big ban wave. Supposedly, what I heard was that this was related to somebody basically leaking how a lot of these cheats were being undetected which is basically they had hardware cheats running on the router of your network or through the router of your network.
Right.
And therefore they were undetectable, but they're still detectable. Like there's still traces of it. It's just the Faceit anti-cheat developers weren't like they didn't know exactly how to detect them, and somebody basically leaked how they worked and figured that out. A lot of players were banned. A lot of them were in North America. The great Jeff M&Ms of Dust2 US, who I quote a lot recently, but he's doing a good job. He called them notable. I don't know about that. Because I never heard of these guys' names, but also some Europeans. I think the two that I noticed were Axet, who you might recognize from Poland. He was on Sprout Academy. He's 19 years old. He was on Sprout Academy and a Go for a bit. And then when Sprout shut down, he retired to focus on like school. But then he just came back and played for Illuminar. And now he's been banned for cheating. So that's fun for him. And then you also had Danik, a Kazakhstani player, most notable for previously having used the name MILF Hunter. Briefly showed up on this Rage squad, which I don't even know who they are. Oh yeah, they moved on to some other team afterwards, I think. It's Modiame. Whatever. Mostly notable for having the name MILF Hunter, but a lot of North American players were banned, and this affects a lot of things actually. Like you had wide-reaching bans in the Dust2 US Eagle Masters series, which is one of the bigger tier 2 events in North America, and they had pretty wide-reaching bans on that platform because of a few players being banned, but also their teammates being banned. So that was actually quite wide-reaching for. I don't know a lot about these names. A lot of them are like Aleph, Sluky, and SJR are the three primary guys who were banned for cheating outright. Don't know much about them, but yeah, that happened. And I just thought it was interesting, like how it happened. Like somebody basically leaked how the cheat worked, and they were. And the anti-cheat developers were basically able to detect it through that. So that's how a lot of these things happen. And I'm just going to tie this straight into this week's Cock of the Week, because our Cock of the Week is one of these banned cheaters who went extremely public.
I was not expecting Cock of the Week to happen.
No, but it's happening. When you least expect it, that's when the cock shows up. Yeah. This guy's name. His name is Sluky. He is from Belarus. And he was banned for cheating, and he posted a long-ass apology letter about it. He didn't even apologize in it. A lot of it is just him retelling the story of his career. It's been taken down. I don't know, like it's not available to read anymore. But again, the amazing M&Ms. He summarized it in a really funny, like it's basically an op-ed. He's written it in a really almost like upset tone. Like he's written it very personally, very conversationally, to summarize it. But yeah, basically Sluky admits to a lot of things here. He admits to match fixing in Belarus. He admits to cheating. He says that he cheated because everybody else cheated. Like he was upset with the amount of cheaters in Belarus, moved to America because of it, discovered everybody in America also uses cheats, and decided, well, I might as well use cheats as well in that case. Amazing. He also randomly starts talking about when his life changed, which involved losing his virginity, and he also admitted to match fixing in America as well, which I thought was really funny. Like quite recently, he admitted to that. I thought that was really funny. That's a crime. Unlike cheating, match fixing is an actual crime, and he just straight up went on Twitter and said, "Yeah, I was throwing games for money, like half a year ago. Like there's no statute of limitations on that, and if you're sloppy enough to do that, I'm pretty sure you're also sloppy enough to like leave traces of your match fixing somewhere. So I can't even really reread this because it's gotten taken down. He's replying to a lot of people in these comments underneath this. Like Semfist is in here, and like he's basically just like fucking. I don't know. A couple of days later, he also posted, "Does this close the door for me being a coach?" And like, maybe a cheat ban would be fine.
What?
And like a cheat ban, you could still be, 2 years later, you've served your time. Maybe you could still come back as a coach. Straight up admitting to match fixing, I think you've closed the door on that one, bro. Like, I do think you've closed the door on being a coach. So yeah, this is this week's biggest cock, going extremely public about your devious acts. Yeah, wait, hang on. Actually, yeah, he's posted a bunch of shit. Let me try to read this. Okay. He's posted a bunch of screenshots of different chats. They're all in Russian, so I can't read them. But okay, you can see on the first screenshot, the 31st of March, Arrow asked me if we need +1 in the team. Same name, same time. I'm writing to the guy who gave me the cheat and did bets for me that I spoke in secret chat with Arrow, and he wants to earn money. Oh, he's basically ratting on somebody else named Arrow by incriminating himself as a match fixer.
Brilliant.
2 months ago. Yeah. I have no goal to prove anything or accuse anyone. You asked for names. I named one. There's no point in me lying and deceiving. If somebody does not believe this, it is your right. After all, you are the one playing with him, not me. Guy was kicked because he's a bot, and now he's mad.
Okay.
All right. So he's started ratting on other people as well. Nice. Yeah, this week's Cock of the Week. Everybody else, I think, has basically gone radio silent. I think Aleph said something, but then removed it. I don't know. Slooky wrapped up his entire comment by saying he was sorry to everybody he cheated against, and also told other cheaters to suck his dick. So that's fun. It's a shame I can't read it out loud. Like it was really funny text, but it's been taken down. It was really long as well. It was like over 1,000 words. But yeah.
Yeah, piece of shit. Gonna be a piece of shit. Yeah.
Yep.
It's kind of wild, but yeah, I'm glad a bunch of things got exposed, and the best part is, it's only shitters.
It's only shitters. There's nobody good.
All these players are shitters. Like none of them are big time players, so we still don't have that sweet confirmation that every half-wit on Vaxuck's been looking for. Like, oh, every single tier 2 pro is secretly cheating, and where's Oxygen's ban? Yeah,
that shit.
Clearly, it wasn't this cheat. Nope. So, or if it is, he never used it on a Faceit server. But I'm sure Faceit are going to share that fucking. I'm sure that thing's been shared, right? It's not just Faceit who have tried to use it, like the intel. It'd be really absurd if no one else receives it.
Yeah, I would hope if that Acros also got like the same information. But yeah, no, yeah, it was only shitters. Look, there's something to doing these things and being aware that the consequences are eventually gonna bite you in the ass. Like I have the teeniest amount of respect for people who don't go out and absolutely crash out after they've been banned. Like they just disappear. They know their time is up. We never hear from them again. Like just like, okay, fine. You knew from the start this was wrong. You did it anyway. You got your consequences. And now you fucked off. Like, we don't have to care about you anymore. It's the people who keep hanging on and try to make a case for themselves, and like Slooky saying stupid shit, or like Joel coming back 6 times after all of this. It kind of upsets me, and it makes me like, at least when you're gone, just be gone. All right, like at least that's better. So, but when you have people like this, it ends up being really funny. It's all.
Yeah. Pretty absurd situation, but yeah, have fun. I hope you can stay banned forever. Yeah. What a dickhead! Just telling on himself too was just crazy.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully you never hear from that guy ever again. Next, the Eternal Shuffle.
Yep.
Tell me,
We have a lot
what's
of it
happened?
today. Alternate attacks have exited CS, which is actually kind of notable because they have been around for ages, like absolute ages.
Right. That's it. Oh,
Yeah,
it's just
like their
just
team.
alternate attacks exit. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
no, that's yeah, it's a bit
it's
of
a
a loss
historic name.
for the German culture, you know? The German culture.
Yeah.
It's not often we choose to celebrate German culture. But in this context, we certainly do. Alternate attacks were a big part of the scene for a long time. And quite often
They were around for
not really the top team for a long time. Like they had some moments in 1.6, but realistically in Go and in 2 they were never a top team, but they had key players come through their doors. You know, Crystal was there, a big name. Tizian, NKJ played for them before becoming an analyst. Godby was there shortly. Searson had a good stint on there. I'm just going through now some of these names. Hunden
Mantu
even played for them, Jesus Christ. But yeah, Mantu,
Yeah.
Slacks, Skrunk, you know, not that big a deal,
Shout out
but still
Skrunk.
does some stuff. Crimbo
Keto.
played there. Prosus played there. Panics trying to make a comeback. Keeps going in and out of that team.
Yeah,
Spiddy
Keto,
even
Tensky.
had some time at the end. Like these are all huge names. Hyped played for them,
Yep.
for crying out loud. Like they were an institution when it comes to CS, as far as the German scene, especially the occasional international roster. But they are, going to be missed. It's going to be strange to not have them around anymore.
Actually is, yeah. So yeah, they are unfortunately gone. They were around for 22 years, founded in 2003, with some crowning achievements in 1.6. Let me actually see. This is the only S tier event I think they've won was in 2006. WSVG 2006 New York. This was Roman, Capio, Chucky, Moon, and Chefkoch.
Yeah.
Nice.
Roman
Anyway,
fucking
yeah,
beast.
Rest in peace. Alternate attacks. These are not in order of notability. This is in order I found them. Marsborn have cut minus, and Marsborn kind of on the cusp of making the major, so that's why they're here.
Marsborn cut minus. Okay. I have very little to say about this. I've not watched a single Marsborn game in my life, so I can't even grade it.
Yeah. Marsborn minus. Yeah.
Is what it is.
He's gone. Yeah. He's fine. Like he was one of the guys touted as like the next, it feels super weird to say it, the next good American opera like 3 years ago.
Right.
Like the next OC he was supposed to be. And he wasn't, and then he came back and he still wasn't. Goodbye. Prezi, they have added 2 Danish players I don't know, and AZ as a coach.
Okay.
We talk about Prezi a lot on this show.
They just come up. They keep doing little things. Prezi, you've added AZ as a coach. It's a bit of a weird one. Not much to really say anything, you know.
Do you think he's got a tactical mind on his head?
Might do.
On his head.
No. Yeah, in his head. QX and Sync, I know nothing about really, so I can't.
No, yeah.
I don't have much of an opinion on them. This is their first HLTV team, so we'll see what they can do with it. It'd be an interesting place for AZ to basically learn to coach. I don't think he's been a coach before, or if he has, I've not noticed. Nothing listed. So yeah, will be interesting. But yeah, not much else to say. We'll see how it goes. Prezi are in a weird spot as a team.
Yeah, they are. It's a second role change for AZ. Previously, he was trying to op. For those of you who remember that, about 4 years ago. Anyway, Zero Tenacity have cut Simki, the Bosnian player, and they have added Madden on not on a temporary basis, but he's allowed to explore his options while he's here.
A+. I've not been a fan of Simka, I'm going to be honest. For a while. I've always had just always thought he was a limited player. Wasn't that great of an entry. Lacked the ability to hit the difficult shots, basically, and that really capped his ceiling. Madden is a player who's shown us a pretty nut ceiling in the past. Is a pretty experienced player, valuable veteran for the Balkan sort of scene. It's the right place for him to be.
Yep. He played just over 1,000 maps for this team, did Simki. Because they have been around with this almost like this exact lineup prior to this change that was around since 2022. So that's kind of insane tenure, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good job, Madden.
Big
Keeper have
Has he played yet? I think he has played a couple games for them. Matches.
Yeah. I think he stood in for the odd.
He played twice for Partizan. That's who he played for. Madden played for Partizan briefly, and he dropped a 1.07 in that series, and a 1.26 in the other series. Okay, he might be back.
They're
to
playing. Yeah, they're playing advanced playoffs R0 Tenacity, but I'm not sure they can play with him. They played with Simki against Quasar, and they played with Simki against Bax the other day. So I think it's gonna be Simki all the way, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Big Akipa have cut Jenny R.
It's a weird one for me.
Yeah.
I thought Jenny R was a pretty solid player. Is there any mention of a replacement, or is it just a cut for now?
Just a cut for now, as far as I know.
I mean, there was a bit of a. It felt like there could be a bit of a clash between her and Hanker, potentially in terms of star rifle privilege. So maybe she just needs a different team to thrive a bit, because she's been strong in the past for this team. Yeah, when they were just a keeper, she was going absolutely fucking nuts. So yeah, a weird cut, but one that's probably a question of roles and comfort more than actual ability.
Yep. We are rattling off these really quick because these are kind of shit tier transfers. Medisport X, the academy team from Medisport, are not going to renew their contracts, so they are released as of 2 days ago. Just to remind you of this lineup, it was Zame, Straxi, Makke, Kronks, and Zapper, coached by friend of the show, Pakesh.
Yeah, I mean, good luck. I don't know much about this team either. I didn't really watch a lot of their play. They were not high on the list of academies that I was trying to keep track of. So, yeah, we'll see what comes.
I think they did decent, and they have some talented players. Like Straxi, I like. Straxi's really good, and he played really good on this team as well.
The best event they played at, for me, like I'm just looking through their histories, maybe that's not even them as a team. Holy crap. Yeah, I don't even know. Most of these events are crap. That's the problem. They've not played a very high level of competition, so I can't put much faith in the numbers right now.
They attended Level Up Lund, the LAN event. They went instead of the Medisport main team, and there they didn't make the HLTV portion. They lost in the first game. Unlucky. Or in the group stage, rather. They went 0-4. That's actually quite a big underperformance. Jesus Christ. Yeah, they got bodied by Masonic and B2TG. Back to the game. Jesus Christ. Okay, never mind. Yep. Goodbye. Inner Circle have benched their coach, LMBT.
A weird one, this one. I'd barely noticed Inner Circle exist. And then they're making changes. So, no, honestly, they've not been a great team so far. Having a decent run in advanced, it seems, but I'd watched them. Yeah, I think I watched them losing to Musketeers one morning or something like that, and I was a bit like, ugh. Not a big fan of this game. Someone else start playing, please.
Yep. So the coach is gone.
Okay. Scene.
Yeah, I mean, these transfers are fucking Jesus. Okay, Monty, they have cut Haji and Lean, and the team that they're playing with right now is Joko and Bimas instead.
It's just, ugh. It's just shit and vomit at the same time, you know? Just it's coming out both ends. Oh, it's just. Are Monty even trying anymore? Like,
no.
Monty is so washed. Just trash. I don't care. Just trash.
Yep. Goodbye again. And Viperio have decided to go Orgless. They're going back to the tag Energy Ultra without Screamo and Switcher, and instead they have Valen and nobody else. As for now, I'll tell you the team which is playing, and you can rate that. They're gonna play with Zodi, the Danish player, Dest, Vallen, and Silence for a Swedish core. And then they have Pap as the coach.
Who the fuck are half these people? Like, I feel like you just made a bunch of fucking sound effects at me, and I'm supposed to be like, oh, yeah, fucking sick. I mean, I know Silence, but that's about it.
Yeah. Now you know Dest. You've done a demo review on Dest. What do you think about him?
Ain't shit.
All right, he's really cute. See, that's you circled back to the beginning of the show. Yeah, all right, never mind. Yep, all right. That's been it. That's been the shuffles, dude. There's nothing happening. The transfer season is happening in like 2 weeks, and yeah. Well, okay, let's make this segment a little bit more fun. What's one transfer you want to see in the off season? Just anything. Aside from like Falcons Kyusuke, like don't pick something already leaked. I'm thinking Heroic need an Opper. I'm thinking VP probably have to make something happen. G2 need... No, sorry, they're already making a change. Never mind. They might need another change.
Yeah, they might. They might. It'd be cool to see like Hooksy get a perma move. It'd be interesting. Maybe, okay, if I'm talking Fantasyland, alright, can I go off the chains? No rules?
Go ahead.
Makaze for you, Jokes.
I like it. I like it.
Made me very happy in the pants, that one.
Yeah. Well, aside from Navi not getting Makaze, I feel like that would be...
No, fuck him.
Alright, alright, yeah, perfect. Nice. Good move. That's been the shuffles. That's been the eternal shuffle. Not very eternal today. Very brief.
Not much going on, but...
The brief shuffle.
Let's wrap it up. Prospects of the week. Who have you taken?
Who have I taken? I have taken
you.
Demon. We've already talked about NAVI Junior a lot. Demon doesn't really show up this much too often, but he had one hell of a week. Like we said, pretty much everybody popped off in this CCT run. Like we had good games out of Mikaze, we had good games out of Cemetery. Even the Passion game was a lot of his work. Even Crabini was like up there with a high rating. But Demon was like second place in all of these games, and then in the final he absolutely popped off. So Demon's my pick. Like he doesn't usually pop off like this. But yeah, dropping 40 for 31 in the final over 2 maps. I mean, good job. Like, yeah, he's playing for a spot in the main team, I would suppose. 17 years old. And yeah, Navi Academy product since like 2 years back. And yeah, excellent job. Who could he replace on Navi? I feel like he would be a...
Demon. Oh, weird.
Probably a JL replacement.
They just don't play the same. They just don't play the same as teams.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's kind of hard to say.
JL. Probably would be JL though. JL or Bit. If Bit exited the team, then maybe Demon. But
yeah, it's all very murky. It's all very strange. Yeah, not sure where he'd go.
I don't know what to say. Good week, great event. Yeah.
All right, I'm torn for my pick because a player I've read has only played 5 maps this week.
Yep.
Not really much for a week. And I wanted to, so I was torn in the show. I wanted to put some G2 Academy players in here. They've had a strong showing, and Klim has been very strong. But I haven't actually been able to watch them play, so I don't have much to actually present as far as what he's doing well. But he's had good numbers, is all I can really say. So I was looking at some other players. Warden, I watched him play Wopa and whoop their ass. Oh, sorry, Wopa their ass. And that was cool, but I was like, he played one other series that week, lost and didn't play that special, and generally hasn't had a great time of things on Brute, who just lose to everyone is the problem. So as much as I do like Warden, that might be a tough sell as well. I could give Poi credit for farming the low-level games he played. You know, that makes some sense. Yeah. But I think I'm just gonna. Yeah, I'm just
the
gonna
one you've written down.
That's the one I just described as Warden. I know.
Yeah. Like I have never heard of this guy.
Oh, I know him fairly well.
His 3-month average is ass.
Oh, I know.
And even this week, he has 1 good game.
He's only played 2.
Yeah, and the other one was bad.
I know. I'm well aware. That is exactly what I just explained in English.
Yeah, I know.
With you on the headset. Like, can you hear me? Like, hello? So that's why I'm kind of torn between some of these picks, because some of the more unknown names played absolutely nobody's. So it's kind of hard to pick them as well. So I think I'm just going to go make it easy. I'll just say my official pick is Mikaze. But this week I don't really have a pick. I'm just like, take your shot. There's a few young players playing quite well. We'll probably end up watching a smattering of them tomorrow. There we are.
You're picking everybody as a prospect this week. Nice.
Officially Mikaze.
Yeah.
But also everyone.
Officially Mikaze. Yep. All right.
Yep.
Good pick. It's been a weird week. Like, we don't have a lot to talk about. Aside from the major starting soon.
Major starting soon is going to be awesome.
It is going to be awesome. Like, I'm actually really happy for the major. Sometimes I'm kind of like iffy on the major starting, but for this one, I'm actually really hyped. I think even you enjoy that we have the extra stage of the major. Like, we actually have a shit ton of CS and a shit ton of different teams to watch.
I would be excited for this stage anyway. It doesn't have to be pretending to be the major. Like, just call it the qualifier, which it is. And I'd still be following it, still be hyping it, still be watching the demos, still be doing all the things I'm doing. We don't have to pretend it's the major, so that the Swedes can be like, we're at the major. Like, you know, we can just call it the qualifier.
Do you know every single Swedish player in stage 1 is gonna make it to stage 2, so they don't even have to pretend. Like, even then it is, we're at the major.
No, you can say that when you get there. That's the problem.
Well, they're gonna. I'm on record right now.
Still the qualifier right now.
They're gonna make it.
Yeah. Did I make the exclusive list of super special talent members Pickems on Reddit? No. Okay. Damn. What a shame. But all right.
What? Is there a list?
No, someone just posted a graphic. And I checked, like, the first page is just an empty Pickems, which is whatever. Then I click next page and they've got a bunch of different Pickem predictions from talent, or like content creators and stuff. And I'm not on there. Makes me very sad. Devastating. Oh, my heart.
All right.
A lot of people with legacy going through that I'm not expecting.
Yeah.
Oh, I got a shout out in the comments,
yeah,
apparently.
no.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Wow, yeah, this is actually a really random list of talent.
I think there's a couple of these have been made, but yeah, all right. That's the show. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you to all the members who've been here since like fucking 10 a.m. on the pre-show. Because there's a bunch of them in chat in the pre-show. But all right, yeah, thanks for tuning in. Enjoy the VOD if you weren't able to watch everything live. And remember that becoming a member makes us very happy. So please do. And we'll see you next week with lots of major to talk about. Goodbye.